Mark, 300 more this morning alone.
Well, it's actually more than that now. We can confirm that up to 500 people have crossed the English Channel so far today, with multiple sightings. The Border Force, as you said in your introduction, were prepared for a very significant day of small boat activity in terms of their sort of internal procedures for being prepared for that. They went to red alert in terms of their resources. And their worst fears, I think, are being realised with what is happening out in the Channel, given that we are still, 11 in the morning, just after, and we are looking at up to 500 people who have crossed the Channel. The first boat, Border Force vessel, came in under the cover of darkness, really, at 3:30 this morning. That just shows you how this, when there are good days, it is a 24-hour cycle in terms of the activity that you'll get with the people smugglers pushing them out. And that first boat from Border Force that came in, we thought about 50 or so were on board that. Then this morning it got really busy just kind of after 6 a.m. with multiple sightings of small boats, not just being spotted by the Coast Guard and the French authorities with their spotter planes and their vessels out there, but passing shipping, the big container ships that plough up and down the English Channel, and other vessels as well, reporting in that they were seeing small boats crossing the Channel. So Border Force, they were out there with 3 vessels out in the Channel, but very quickly they had to call on the lifeboat service, the RNLI, for assistance. So we saw Dover lifeboat going out, we saw Ramsgate lifeboat, and then the Dungeness lifeboat heading out. Now, most of those have returned to Dover Harbour. The last 2 Border Force vessels had 2 dinghies worth each on board, and when we counted them off, it was up to 65 people that it seems were on these dinghies. Not every dinghy today has had 65, but quite a few of them, at least 4 we think, have had up to 65 people on board, and that is a real concern for authorities, because what that means is that more people are falling overboard, being swept overboard, just ending up in the water. 7 incidents last week, as well as the tragic incident in which 6 people died.
And as you say, Mark, we're seeing this high-risk strategy, aren't we, of the human trafficking gangs who are packing people into those dinghies when they have this small weather window, and that's what's making these journeys even more dangerous.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just going to step to the side at the moment, so allow you to get a shot down, live images of the harbour. You see one of the Border Force catamarans that was out in the Channel since very early this morning, now just anchored there at the quayside, having unloaded upwards of about 125, closer to 130 people. And yes, it's these weather windows, really, in terms of the fact that we've had such unpredictable and bad weather in recent months in the Channel, that every time we get calm conditions, then we get a surge. Last week we reached a record number of crossings for one day this year, when 755 people were taken off small boats. And again today, it's certainly possible that we could get near that figure, if not surpass it, because although things are a little quiet after the initial surge, and these Border Force vessels, 2 of them that you can now see in the harbour just waiting for their next taskings, what will often happen is you get an early morning surge of vessels taking advantage of the tidal conditions to come over, and then later in the day there'll be other surges, so prepare for more sightings in the Channel.
Well, Mark, we will be back with you as and when we get those sightings throughout the morning.